Hey Philippa. Hello. Just waiting to get it up on the old computer. Seems to take forever, doesn't it? Hi Jane. Thank you for joining me. If I don't get it up on the computer, I can't see comments. Show on silent. Hi Christine. This is taking forever to put it up here now. How annoying. Right, okay. How's the weather been, girls? We have typical September weather. It is poured down all day. And it feels, you know, like the way it feels when it's about to be like Halloween or bonfire night. It's got that kind of damp, wet, weird vibe about it. Hi Brian, hi Andreen, hi Jean. I'm still, hey, finally she finds it. It finally comes up on the computer. There we go. There we go, there we go. Well, hi Jax. Hi Caroline. I don't think it's going to be a very long one tonight. Oh, I can see it pulsing already. Oh my, how annoying. Are you a bit close, maybe? Maybe you need to come up a wee bit. Let's see if that helps. Oh, I wish I could sort this pulse thing out. I go on about it every week. It must drive you nuts. Hi Penny. Hi Kathy. Dry and muggy. Oh, I wish it was dry here, honestly. Awful. Mind, Carlisle is a bit like that. I've never known such wet weather in a place since I moved here. It's weird. Possibly too close to Scotland and they get it all, don't they? Right. So, yes. It would help if I knew where to put the calendar. Here it is. Right. So, yeah, this is the one I made the other day. And as you know, I've used one of the tags from the new Colour Me calendar. So, I haven't started the actual body of the calendar yet. I'm going to do that. I've been really, really busy on Nana duties. So, what I did was I took the first page out, which is all the tags, and I've coloured all those in. As you know, you get lots of different, I haven't done that one yet, lots of different ones on the first page, coloured them in, cut them out, so I will be making cards with these, but I chose that one first, and I'm going to use this one tonight. So obviously you can see I'm going to change the colour combo just a bit. We shall see how it works, see if we like it better than the yellow one. So, what we are going to be using is, let's move that out of the way, stand it up. We're going to be using this tag, which I coloured in with pencil while I was sitting watching the telly, and it wasn't the best light. So I'm looking at it now and thinking, oh, that's really dodgy. But there you go. And then we'll need a card blank. Just an A4, scored, folded in half. A piece of black card, which I'm not quite sure if I'm going to use yet. We'll see at the end. But it's only got a tiny little border all around by the time you put it on your card. So, and then a piece of card, which we are going to work on. And this is mixed media card, because I am going to be throwing quite a bit of water at it. So, what else are we using? Let's see. We're going to use Julie's birthday background stamp set. Yep, and also we will be using Hazel's stencil, which is background 2. And it's got stars, squares, circles, and like a, I don't know, like a kind of, well, that. You can see it, I don't know what to call it really. Kind of Hessian vibe going on there. And what I have done is I've used Julie's dinky rectangles, and I've cut them out of Mylar, the 3 sizes out of the Mylar, and I'll be using that. So I'll move over and up a bit because you can see I'm kind of going off to one side. I'll be using a micron pen. I will also be using, let me see, God, I'm rustling about here, the Banner dies, and I'll be using this stamp set called Birthday Sentiments. I'll be using the one that says Just Wanted to Say. Okay, so that's that. I've got lots of this already prepped and stamped out ready. As you know, I kind of do that quite a bit. It saves time, especially when you've got to dry things off. You know, it sometimes takes a long time. And the stamp set I've chosen today to use, I know it's not a fuchsia, obviously, but I'm going to use this one because I quite like the squiggliness of this one. It's Birthday Blooms, and I'll be using this big one and the small. Oh, I used that last time. I'll use this one here. So just the small and the large one. There we go, that's them. Anything else? Oh yeah, bit of sisal to add a bit of texture. Bit of vellum as per normal. Structure paste. Some distress inks. I've chosen picked raspberry, and this one is from Studio Lights. It's a water-based one. Hiya Dee, hiya Jill. Hiya Leslie, thanks for joining me. This is a water-based one, so it will react in the same way the distress does. The usual VersaFine, black superfine powder, embossing powder, and some glossies, I think, and a couple of leaves from Walla Julie's stamp sets as well. So, right, we'll crack on, because like I said, there's a bit of drying to do and what have you. So, here we go. Let's get it all out of the way and get started. Right, so first thing we're going to do is put a bit of colour down on this mixed media paper. It's the Dragon's Papercraft Media Artist paper. It takes a lot of water. It's very good. I'm really impressed. I've not used it before, and I got some off Hazel. I bought some off Hazel, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. So I want to put some ink down. I'm going to start with the palest one, okay? I've kind of picked the two inks that's going to match the two colours that's in this tag. Hi Lorraine. So I'll put a little bit down to start with. It's the usual inky background that we do. So I'll get a bit of tissue to dab off any of the excess. Give it a spray. Let it move. And then just pop it down and squish it. Anything that you don't want, anything that pools or looks a bit naff, you know, you can just always wipe off. Like, I don't like that, just wipe it off. I want this to be a background. I don't really want it to be, you know, totally overtaking the whole thing. It is a background after all. So yeah, we're going with that. I quite like that colour, and I think it kind of matches the two tones that's in there. I mean, it looks very pale. Oh, this is so annoying, this pulsing thing. I can see it and it's bugging me. Doesn't seem to be in very good focus, does it? Which is a bit weird. There you go. Well, I hope it's not putting you off and making you feel sick. So we've got a bit of that on there. I'm not sure if that's enough. Let's see. Yeah, put a little bit of this one down. This is picked raspberry. It's quite dark. I don't want much of it. It's like the deeper tone to that one. So I'm only going to put a little bit of it on, see what it looks like. If we don't like it, the worst thing that can happen is that we don't like it. Yeah, it's just picking up. It's actually almost the same tone, but it's just a little bit darker in hue. So that's okay. You might be able to see that a little bit better. Take off some of these pools. And those little dots are quite interesting, so we'll have those. There we go. You can always add more at a later date. Now, unfortunately, I have to dry it before we go on to the next phase. But I don't use a heat gun when I'm drying. I tend to use a hairdryer. I mean, on the screen, I'm looking up now. Hi, Elaine. On the screen. Oh, it's all right. You haven't missed anything. You've only put a bit of ink on there. On this screen now, I can't really see much colour, but believe me, there's quite a lot on there. So I'm just going to give it a dry. Hey Donna, hey Karen. We want this to be dry before we go on to the next stage, really. some quite nice interesting splatters on there. And as it's drying, you can kind of see the difference in the two tones of ink, which is good. So turn it over, give the back a little dry, which flattens the card back out again. Hiya Donna. Wow, Nevada. Wow, what time is it there? Oh, thanks for joining us. Oh, you're making us all jealous now, Val, eh? Between you in your holiday cottage and Donna in Nevada, I'm stuck in rainy Carlisle. Right, we'll go with that. That should be okay. Alright, so there we go. Let me see if I can lift this up slowly. Oh, it's 11:12 in the morning. Wow. There we go. I don't think you can see it apart from them really awful jumps about. Right, I'm going to have to really look into this thing of jumping about. Maybe I should try it with my phone next instead of the iPad thing. Right, here we go. So I need now the structure paste and the stencil. Or shall I put the squares on? No, I'll put the squares on first. That'll be easier. So if you bring your tag in, this tag is bigger than the one that I used before, but I do still want it to sit there. Okay, it's going to sit there when the whole thing is finished. Evening, Gail. So if I bring this in now, I can roughly see where I want to put some of these rectangles. So I'm going to try and line it up from as far away as I am at. Get me pen and draw the rectangles in. Now, you don't need to use mylar for this. You can just use a piece of cardboard. Cut yourself a rectangle from Julie's Dinkies and do it that way. So I want one about there. I'd like one coming off of from this side as well. So I'm going to place that down, move the tag out of the way. I'm going to draw around this as well. And it doesn't matter if you go wobbly, because you are going to go over the line again, freehand, and do a wobbly line to make it a double line. So we've got that sitting there, and I'm going to do a biggish square, I think. Or should I do one the same size? Yeah, I'll do one the same size, because that'll give me more room to put a bit of texture paste on. So I'm going to go there, I think. There we are. Isn't it funny how your hand shakes when you're doing something live? Right, okay. So, all I'm going to do now is follow this round with the usual squiggly line. And you just commit, start at one side and go to the next. You probably won't see half of this, it'll be under the tag, but it doesn't matter. Okay, you can cross the lines over if you want, make them more wiggly, more pronounced. You want to be able to see that there's two lines there. Okay, so that's the only thing about doing these freehand. Keep them wiggly and make them look like they were meant to be like that. Once you've committed to the line, keep going. Doesn't matter if you go off. You know, it makes it look like it was meant to happen. Doesn't have to be straight. There we go. So in with this one. I do like doing these wiggly lines. You may well have noticed they're everywhere. They're usually all around the card. They're all over the place. And I am going to put one around the outside of the card today because it finishes the edges of the card. So again, start at one end. You know, the amount of people that ask me, what stamp did you use for the outside of your lines around the outside? It's not. It's just as wiggly as you want to get them. Do a double one so it matches the rectangles you've just done. There we go. Doesn't matter if you go off. So I hope all the ladies who've ever asked, how do you know, what stamp is that? See this, and then they'll realise, see here, you can't see that there's two. Just pick it back up again and go back in. There you go. It is fixed. The whole thing about mixed media, isn't it? It's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be a creation that you've done. There we go. I'm not going to do the usual squiggles around it, not needed. Hiya, Danny. So that's that. I think I'll put 3 squiggles on. I'll use this. 3 dots, like I did before. Quite like them dots, just dots, aren't they? You know, big as small as you want them. I'm going to put 3 on this side and 3 on this side. I am using the exact same composition that I used on the one I did before because I really liked it, as it turned out. So we've got this. Now we're going to bring in the birthday stamp, okay? And I'm going to bring in a little separate piece of card because I don't want to have, you know, full on black on this stamp. Hi Julie, it's alright, no worries, I haven't done much, just a couple of rectangles and a bit of inky background. So, I think I've got it the right way up, yeah, I have. And once again, I'm not using the stamp platform, okay, but I'm just going to use my hands, right? So I'm going to pop this down and I'm just going to take off some of the excess. I don't want it too dark, okay? So if you bring your stencil back in and use the rectangles that you used to draw these out, you can put it back over, pick your stamp up, just make sure it's up the right way, okay, and it's kind of straight, and you can just put it down and press on it. It doesn't matter if bits come out and bits don't, see? It's absolutely fine. Doesn't matter. Ink it again, do the same in the other 2, sorry, if you've done one. Take some of it off. Put this back on. That's the small one. Put that one back on. I'm going to turn it to the side so I know that this wording is straight. Okay. Put some of the words in. And then with what's left on it, do the exact same there. Just pop some in. You can even just keep going with what's left on your stamp. It's absolutely fine. Yep. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so that's the stamp used. That gives just another layer to your background. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is a bit of texture paste. Marianne, I forget what day it is quite a lot. There we are. The other week, the last one I did, I was sitting there on the Sunday and I was thinking, did Philippa do a Technique Tuesday? No. And then I realised it was me to do a live on the Monday and I hadn't even prepped anything, so I had to dive out and do something. So this texture paste has got a little bit of, it looks to me like it's got a bit of grit of some sort in it, which again gives you texture. So now I've just got to find I'm going to use the same one because I really liked. You could use the stars or the squares or whatever you like, but I'm going to use this one again because I kind of liked it. So I'm going to line it up. At the side of the rectangle, I'm going to put 3 lots on, not loads, just enough to add that texture. I love the noise of this, it's great. The thicker you put it on, okay, then the more it takes to dry, but that's all right. And also the higher it stands out. So I'll just put a bit on here. Take that off. And I'm going to just turn it round so I can use it down here without touching that bit up there and getting it all wet. I'll just put a little bit on here. Some of it will be covered with the tag. Some of it won't. But the one thing you must do with this is put it on either a baby wipe or a bit of tissue and spray it and get it off, because it will completely set on your stencil and ruin it. Yeah, you don't want that, especially if it's your favourite one. So just give it a little spray of water and give it a wipe. Get the majority of it off. Yours is a lot on there, a lot more than you think. And then that'll be good enough to last until you can get in and give it a wash. And you can just leave it in there, wrapped in either a piece of wet tissue or the baby wipe. So, here we go again. spraying. Anything that you don't want on there, take off. I just sort of eked a bit onto that line, didn't want that, so I've just removed it before I dry it. Now I do need to dry this, so I do apologise again for the noise, but it needs to be dried. Just dry enough to be able to work with it and stick the rest of the stuff on top. So far really it's only a case of layering up a bit of colour with the inks, then doing your squares or rectangles or hexagons or circles or whatever you want to use, whatever dies you've got to do, Julie's, to draw around. And then I've used hazel stencil, as you can see, but any stencil will do. I changed it to this one. I've only just bought this one actually. I changed it to this one because I always use the same one all the time, stencil 2, and I thought, no, you know, I'm going to change it. So I got myself a couple of bits and bobs, treated myself. I do love a stencil. I've probably got about 200 of them. 200 stencils, I would say, close on. So yeah, this bit takes a lot. That's the only issue, isn't it, with mixed media? It takes forever. But I haven't put it on too thick, so we should be alright. And at least this way with the hairdryer, it does give, it doesn't seem to warp your card as much, especially if you keep it on a cool setting. Let's see. Yeah, that's dry enough to be able to continue. So I'm just going to give my hand a wipe because I seem to have texture paste all over me and I don't want to get that on anything else. Let's just wipe this off. I am mucky pup when I do mixed media stuff. Right, so what do we need now? I'm going to do some little stamps, I think. Some stamping. So what I did was, as you can see very crudely, I took this little stamp earlier on, stamped it out. This is it. And then I cut round it with a craft knife. Not brilliantly, but I did it anyway. And what I'm going to do is use the palest of these inks, I think. Yeah. Just going to grab my pink brush for it. There we go. And I'm going to put a couple of the stenciled bits in the background. Hi Hazel. It's your first time watching? Oh, thank you. I don't want much pink, I just want a little bit, but I think this has been used for Kitsch Flamingo, so I'm just going to take some off. So what I wanted is this first before I stamp on top of it. I wanted it to be kind of, you know, a little background shape. So choose the bit you really like. And if you bring in your tag, you can roughly see where the tag's going to go as to where you're going to put it. Always bring in your tag, see where you're going. There's no point in doing a load of work on it and then covering it up with the tag. So I'm going to go in and just stencil in the background one of them flowers. I've done it really lightly. You can't really see it, so I'm just going to go over. Once you put too much on, you can't really take it off, so it's best to build up. Now you can see it, it's just there. But you will see it when I put the stamp on top of it, okay? It's just adding another layer, okay? See, tag's going to go there, so I'm going to pop one down here. Say, about there. So I kind of know how heavy I've got to go in now. You want to be able to see this nice little flower. Got to have 3 on it, so where else should we whack one? Okay, we'll put one. Big decision. I'll put one there, I think. Maybe move it over a little. There we go. So we've got the 3 of them now. There's going to be quite a lot going on this side by the time I put the flower on. So yeah, let's concentrate on that side. So here's the thing itself, the flower itself, and I'm going to do this in the darker ink on top of that little tiny bit there. Does the hairdryer? No, it doesn't do the same job. It does a better job in drying things, but you cannot heat emboss with the hairdryer. It just doesn't have the heat to melt the plastic embossing powder. So if I'm embossing anything, I use my heat gun. If I'm just drying anything, I use my hairdryer. Yeah, all that'll happen if you try and use your hairdryer with the embossing powder, just blow it off. It'll blow it all over the place. So, yeah, that's all I ever do. I mean, that hairdryer was an old one. I was about to change it to something else, and I was going to get rid of it. And then I thought, you know, I'm going to use it for mixed media. I've had it years. So now what I'm going to do is bring in that little bit of paper, because I don't want this too heavy. Just check out. Oh, it's not bad, actually. So, try and line up the way your stamp fits on top of that semi kind of stencil that you put in. It doesn't matter if you don't hit it, and then you've got that. It doesn't matter if it's not perfectly straight. Just kind of try and line it up. You've got a little bit more interest in the background. Then pop that one in there. So you've kind of created your own stencil without having to colour in the inside of the flowers. Yeah, they're great. I mean, to be honest, when this one breaks, I'm actually going to go and get a little, you know, one of the little mini ones, mini travel ones. I think they do them in Tesco's for about £5, £6, something like that. I mean, it's good enough. So, there we go. We've got to that part. So now what do we need to do? Oh, not a lot, really. Flower. Me flower. So, because I've chosen to use that kind of squiggly flower there, I've gone with this squiggly flower like I showed you before. And once I've stamped it out, I stamped it in the VersaFine, as I normally do on this one, just onto card. And then on this one, I stamped it onto vellum with the black VersaFine. And then I used black wow powder embossing and my heat gun to heat it up. So it's got the two textures as well as the shiny part there. Okay. And they're going to sit on top of each other. And then I stamped out some of the leaves. Now, I'll just have a look and see, because this leaf came from, let me see, this one. It came from this set, and it is the Fresh Florals. Okay, so, and the brilliant thing about this is you get one to the left and one to the right. So, fabulous. Stamp them out. I'm not going to colour them. I'm going to keep them black and white. Okay, but these two I am going to colour. And I'm going to use the exact same inks that I've used all the way through. You know, through this thing. So, to colour both of them, turn the vellum over. Okay. Start off with your lightest one. And then just colour the back of it in. With the same ink you've used to make the inky backgrounds. Okay. You can see on the front whether it's deep enough, whether it's dark enough. You can turn it over and have a look. So I'm just going to switch my heat gun on, my glue gun rather, because I need that in a moment. It heats up really fast. So if you turn it over, it's quite pale, but you will get some of the colour on this one as well. But you can always add more if you want, especially to the edges. So just pop a bit of colour on. And then the same on this. You're going to go all over with this pink one. Because this one's going to sit underneath, and you'll see some of the colour come through from this as well. And then I'm going to go in with the picked raspberry and just pick up some of that to put in the middle. Make it darker in the middle, as you usually do when you've got your pencils and stuff. So, here we go. Don't know whether you can, yeah, you can see it on screen. Just. Same on this. Darken in the middle. And then, look at it from the front. I might even put a bit on the top here. Just so you can see it. There we go. That's better. So, I've got my glue gun on, and I'm going to glue these two together now. Line them up and glue them together. I do prefer to use hot glue when you're doing the vellum thing, because when you're doing a live especially, because it sticks quicker. And I'm not going to offset it, I'm going to pop it in so the petals are on top of each other. Okay, so and now it's time to put this together. I told you it didn't take long. It looks like it takes forever, but it really doesn't. It really doesn't. So I need something on the back of this to make it higher up. So let me find a bit of cardboard. Yeah, got a piece. Got a piece. Nearly tearing it off. And a pair of scissors. I'm going to use cardboard to raise it up a bit. It's quite a thick cardboard, but beggars can't be choosers. So, rough piece. Cut a piece off and then just trim it to size. Don't want it the whole size of the tag, obviously, because you don't want to be able to see it from behind. So, savage it until it fits. There we go. That'll do. And I have got a couple of foam pads left, little ones, just to fit on that tag. So this I'm just going to glue on. Thanks, Julie. Yeah, I love them. I love vellum flowers. Vellum on top. They're cute. There we go. Let's put that together. So that is going to sit here. And this one is going to sit alongside it. But I don't want the banner. I want it to have straight sides, because all of the items that I've used on it are straight. So I'm going to take the banner edge off and just have a clean straight edge. As you can see, it was one I'd stamped in purple at one point and then never used, so waste not, want not. Now these foam pads are not as high as the cardboard I've used, which is exactly what I want, because that'll give you a couple of different heights. You know, it'll give a little bit more interest to your project. So it's all about lots of little layers, and you can go more layered than I've done. You can go way more layered than I've done. You can add more black than I've put on, or you know, don't put any black on at all. It's totally up to you. So that is where my tag's going, so I'm going to slide that in between them two rectangles there, as straight as it'll go, and pop that in, and then I can glue this one on. So I know I've done a lot of work on this that you're not going to see, but that's that just adds to the, I know it's underneath there, I know I've done the work, and it just adds to whoever's looking at it, you know, oh, did she put it underneath or just miss a bit, or, you know, we know we've done it, we've done the work. But it's nice to just have it peeping out here and peeping out there. So let's press that down, get that on. There we go. Thanks, Julie. Really, when you see the photo tomorrow morning, you'll be like, it's not that neat. I did it in the living room while I was watching telly the other night, and the light's not particularly good in there. So you think you've done a really good job until you see it the next day. Yeah. Right. The one thing I will say at this point is this little bull clip here. I have got a bag of them and I can't find them. I've been through my craft shed today and I can't find them. I did find this one, which I don't like, black one. I found a pink one, but it's too in your face. I found a peg, which I guess you could use, or if you don't have any pegs or bull clips, you could just do as you do with the tag. Make a hole and put ribbon, or if you've got a fancy, like I have, a little fancy stapler with coloured staples, you can put a couple of staples in the ribbon at the top, and that'll do the job. But this time, what I'm going to do is nick the ball clip off that one until I find the one I'm looking for. And I know I've got them. I've got loads of them. So that little ball clip's going to go on there. Adds a little bit of something. Put it on straight, girl. It just adds a little something. Don't know what, but it just does. So that's that. Now we've just got, all we've got to do now is put the flowers together and put it on. So flower, I'm going to use my hot glue because it's quicker for me. If you don't need to use that, but it will stay on quicker than me having to sit and hold it. I'm just going to push these up a little, and the way to do that with vellum is to just give it a little crease at the edge where it meets the you know, the middle part of it, and it'll stand up a little bit. Looks much better on your photos when it's standing up. So let's glue it on. There we go. I'm going to pop it around about there. There we go. And then these I'm going to leave black and white, and I'm just going to put them on with normal glue. I mean, you didn't have to use a ball clip, I guess. I've got some silver embellishments, little butterflies and things. You could have put something of that on. Just adds another texture because it's metal, and I know we haven't used silver anywhere else throughout it, but that doesn't matter. It's absolutely fine. It looks fine. So there we go with them two. The only thing I didn't put on it is a bit of sisal, which I guess I could shove on now. I forgot that. I was chatting away and I've just noticed it here. So I like this stuff again, another texture. Just pull yourself some off. It doesn't have to be loads. Okay. And then if it's going around a flower, what I tend to do is pull it out straight. It's probably way too much. And then curve it into a circle. Okay. And then you can tuck it in behind your flower, and then you can give it a haircut. Okay. So I will glue this in place with a bit of hot glue in a minute. Tuck it in. It's way too much sisal, Tracy. Give it a haircut. And put the stringy bits back in the sisal bag. But again, texture, it's all good. I will glue that back bit on. If you put this on before you put your flower down, your flower captures it and it doesn't go anywhere. But I just really like the texture, but it needs haircuts once it goes on because it gets everywhere, and I don't want it to be too much, just enough. So that will get glued on in a moment properly. There we go. And then all that's left really is a nice glossy in the middle. So you've got your choice of pale pink ones, dark pink ones, psychedelic pinks. Big decision. I think I'm going to go with the pale pink because it matches the pink in the background. So that's what I'm going to go for. And I'm going to use the biggest one. I'm going to pop it right in the middle so it really stands out, shines out against that black, deep black embossing. So for photos, pop them up a bit, give it a bit of dimension. And now it's all that's left to do is actually put it on the card base. So that's what we shall do. So you can decide whether you want to put your black one on. It looks pretty cool just on white. Okay. It looks just fine. It'd look great if you put it on pink. It'd look good if you put it on whatever colours you're using for your, you know, for your actual composition. That would look really good too. I'm going to put a bit of black down so that it echoes the black right the way around the outside as well, because we've used the black all the way through it. So let's just give it a little bit of a boost, see if it pops off well now. And then I'm going to remove that while I press it down, and then I'll pop it back on again. I shall glue the sisal on and I'll take some photographs. I've got a lot of samples to do. So yesterday I had a whole Julie Hickey day and I made quite a few. I did my calendar. I made another card for the next live at the next time I do it. So I'm quite ahead now. So remove all the glue that oozes out from around the sides. It's just something a bit different, isn't it? You know, one little tag, that's all it took. One little tag and you've got loads of tags. I mean, you could do the same thing with the hexagons as well, from the other calendar. If you bought that one, that would look just as cool. And use the hexagon dies to draw the shapes around the sides. Hey, there's an idea. I might have to do one of them next. So I'm going to pop this bull clip on. I'm going to have a look at it, see what we think. Does it need anything else? Does it need any more? I don't think so. I think that's okay. I'm liking that. So there you go. There's the two of them. Two different tags. Exactly the same composition. Same flower. Except that one's slightly different. But there you go. Couldn't have been easier, could it? So I hope you have a go. I hope if you do, tag me. And thank you very much for joining me. I'll take some photos of this tonight and I'll pop it on tomorrow. And then you can have a good look at it. And I'll take a little couple of close-ups so you can get the gist. All right, then, thanks for joining me, and I will see you in a fortnight. Thank you. Have a good evening. Bye.